Hi, everyone. Welcome to another amazing topic of conversation. I want to thank my sponsors, the Health Channel. So please sign up for their newsletter and their upcoming Women Fair. And to Alexa's Workspace with the future of offices. Anywhere you want to work, being virtual or a physical office space, Alexa's Workspace. And from the Power of the Heels, please join us for our monthly networking, where we are reinvented, refocused, and reimagined. And the next one is March 9th at the AC Hotel in Aventura. We look forward to giving you updates on our Disruptive Monarchy event, which has been postponed. So stay tuned for the new date. Now to our topic. Sabina, welcome.
Thank you, Gladys. I'm very happy to be here in your show. Thanks so much for having me.
Today we're having a conversation for everybody that knows me, it's all about supporting other women. And I know that you are running for a very difficult election. It's a special election. And the 4 top contenders are all men. So you're running against men totally. And this is a nonpartisan race. So it is not about Republicans or Democrat. It's a nonpartisan race. So Sabina, I know you from the PR world and journalism. What made you decide to run for office?
Guys, thank you. A lot of people don't know, but I'm also a political scientist. So I've been in part of politics for a long time, but wearing a different hat. I worked as a spokesperson for the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services under Commissioner Nikki Fried. And one of the reasons which I'm running is because I think that the quality of life in Miami needs to be impressed. We have right now a commission that has not been delivering. And I believe that I could be a new face. I have the experience. I'm a small business owner, as you mentioned, but I've also been a political journalist for the past 20 years. So I've been exposed to corruption and injustices all of my life. I think this was the right timing. The commissioner was going to be out limit. He ran for Congress, had to resign. And District 2 is a very diverse district. I've been a resident of my neighborhood and my district for the past 22 years. So I am extremely prepared and ready to go.
I know that there was some bad publicity that came out, and being on your shoes, we know that there's completely another side of the story. So what happened? Like, I know that there was an issue that when you were very young, you had to file for bankruptcy, but tell me, and what does this have to do with your race?
They've been attacking me for everything and anything that they can find with false accusations. I had a medical debt that was big when I was in my 20s, and I got legal advice. They recommended I did the runoff of the debt because it was a moment in where I was starting my professional career and it would give me a fresh start. And thanks to Mercedes Saladrigas, who was actually the attorney who advised me, and she actually came out and even gave a testimony during my race, I am here where I am right now, owner of 2 businesses. But of course, they want to discredit you. They want to make feel that a woman that has been not only on camera and part of public life as a TV host for the past 20 years, but that owns successful businesses that can keep clients for more than 5 years, cannot manage finances. And that was Gladys just one of the attacks. They were also trying to make pretend that I was part of the 819, which, as you know, is a guerrilla that existed in Colombia. I always, when people ask me about this attack, I tell them, why don't you do the math and find out how old I was when the 819 was active? And like that, they've sent other attacks saying that I was financed by George Soros. I have no idea how creative the people who were attacking me and where they got that from. But it's been fun. You need to be thick-skinned, as you know. Working on TV, you are already thick-skinned, and I used to cover politics, so I know what it means. And we're moving forward. We just don't want to be disturbed or not concentrated in what we're doing right now, which is running for office and making sure that our constituents come out to vote on Monday, the 27th of February.
So when they came out for this, I don't know why it has to do with the campaign, because somebody in this country that has filed for bankruptcy for whatever reasons, and I understand that you follow advice from your counsel, after 7 years, your credit starts from zero and now you have successful businesses.
That's why it's a legal tool that people can use to start fresh. And that happened over 15 years ago and under legal advice. So I would say that half of Miami, they most likely have done a bankruptcy at some point in their lives. But they were just trying to find, and they're still trying to find, things that would actually take the attention off the transparent person that I am, and a commissioner that can be perfect and very well known for the city of Miami.
Why are they doing the special election on Monday versus a Tuesday? I understand that Tuesdays are the day for elections.
So what happened was that the commissioner resigned in December, and the commission, so the three commissioners that, the four commissioners that are left had to actually appoint someone. So the people who were interested filed for the appointment. If they wouldn't get someone appointed in that meeting, they had, from the moment that they said, okay, we're not appointing anyone, we cannot get to a consensus, 45 days to call for the election. And according to what the legal team at the city of Miami interpreted, 45 days after that was actually the Monday, February 27th. And that's what had happened. After that, all candidates, we had to file to be an official candidate and start campaigning.
Got it. So that's why it's getting so much attention, because it's a very short campaign.
It's going to be 6 weeks. It's been a very short but intense campaign, extremely intense.
As a woman, what is the difference that you can bring to the table as opposed the other four contenders are bringing?
So the commission right now has 3 men and 1 woman. That's Chairwoman Christine King. I believe that as a woman, we can bring a lot of things, including emotional intelligence. And that emotional intelligence is going to be extremely useful for us to be able to negotiate on the dais and make sure that what my constituent needs is actually going to go through. Through a very complicated commission, we are facing legislation that is coming next month that is extremely important because it includes zoning for affordable housing. There's also a marijuana vote that is coming up. We are having to work this year on the budget, on the fiscal year for next year. There's a lot of interesting topics that need to be covered on the commission. I also will bring to the table transparency, and I think that that's key for our constituents at this point. I've been endorsed by the Miami-Dade Democratic Party, even though it's a nonpartisan race, but they gave me support with volunteers, with canvassers, which is amazing. I'm very thankful. I've been endorsed by Congresswoman Annette Tadeo. I was endorsed by former Commissioner Nikki Freed, former Commissioner Audrey Edmondson, Representative Ashley Gant, Roots List. So I'm getting a lot of support also from women. And I think it's important, Gladys, because that showcases, and you were part of politics at some point, it actually inspires other people to not be afraid. To be an elected official, you need to have courage first, but then you need to have empathy for other people. And I think a mix of those two is going to be extremely important at the City of Miami Commission.
But you're also bringing a multicultural background.
I would be the first Hispanic woman if I'm elected on Monday on the City of Miami Commission for District 2, for my district in particular.
Because you're also uniting the Latin or Hispanic side of it with the American side.
And the amazing part is that I think that, as you mentioned, different cultures can get to different consensus, and I would be the first Colombian American on the city of Miami as well.
So what are your plans if you are elected?
We have long-term plans, but I think that we're going to start with the short-term plans because we need to be able to deliver right away. There's a lot of frustration. We have a law enforcement problem within the district. Crime is up, especially in downtown Miami. So I would work with our firefighters and police to make sure that we have the right resources for other neighborhoods. I want to put in place within my office 4 community advocates or managers that would actually work with each of our neighborhoods, because my district is extremely diverse. Coconut Grove, for instance, which is where I'm right now, I'm at my office, has many different problems than Brickell, downtown, or Edgewater. So it's a little world. If we have 4 community advocates that can also become mobile offices, I think the constituents are gonna feel much better served. And that's what commissioners do. Yeah, we have to bring legislation to the table, but we need to be a voice for our community. And that's going to be my main priority. We have a very, I would say, challenging problem with infrastructure in the city of Miami. And my district specifically, it's unfortunately the point of a lot of flooding because we're the coastal district. So we are east of US 1. Towards the coast, very similar to, for example, Aventura as a city. So we need to make sure that we bring the right infrastructure in a resilient way that is also cost effective. So we're gonna have to work on that as well. And of course, quality of life for children or seniors. I'm a mother of 3 children, and we are lacking community centers, community programs, senior programs. The city has to be more involved in what it means for the people to have a better quality of life. And just to wrap up, because it's so many things that we can do, we have a real affordable housing crisis, which has made our district either extremely rich or extremely poor. But we are not finding a middle point, so we cannot retain the workforce within our district. And that's complicated. If we make the right changes within our zoning, we can solve the problem.
What about traffic? Because now if you hear, for example, if you're coming from Aventura, going to Miami, it's becoming a real nightmare.
It's a nightmare, but traffic goes back to the county. So City of Miami can provide tools to work with the county and with the state to make sure that we solve it. So what I can do as a commissioner is more work on the infrastructure and also come up with creative ideas. For example, more bike lanes. There are neighbors here that have become vertical and people like to bike, but it's extremely dangerous. I bike every afternoon. I've been canvassing biking and you don't feel safe, right? We have the trolley system, but the trolley system, and I was talking today to one senior who actually uses the trolley daily, and he was showing me that the trolleys come sometimes one after the other. So no one is monitoring that. And it's not aligned with the buses that the county has. Of course, we would like an expansion for the Metro Mover, but again, that's something that we need to work as City of Miami officials with the county to make it happen. But it's extremely important because that's also a way to retain the workforce for our medium and small businesses, because economic development is also extremely important for the city.
But I know that, as you said, Miami has grown exponentially. They did a really good job on advertising Miami, like they said, and especially the mayor as he advertised the tech hub and all that. But now it's getting impossible. Prices have gone up, not only housing, but I heard, for example, just today from a client of mine, that he's coming for a show, and he said that the hotels are ridiculous, that he cannot get anything less than $700 a night.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because it's not only the hotels, it's what the restaurants are charging. And of course, everything has gone up, right? And we have
we're talking, yes, the inflation is one thing, but Miami has literally exploded in prices.
I agree. So Mayor Suarez did a good job in putting Miami on the international map.
Correct.
They also have done a good job in bringing very wealthy people from other states that want to live in Florida because they're paying less taxes. But what is happening is that the middle class is being displaced. And that's a problem. And it's a problem because, again, if you cannot have a community that is integrated, if you cannot find employees to work for you. Let's start by just saying,
it's the employees that need the transportation, that need to live, and especially, and also schools. Teachers.
Well, and the school situation is something that I am planning on working with the district, and I am planning on working with the state, because as you know, Gladys, as a commissioner, there's not much that you can do, but I am going to implement surveys. We need surveys to make sure that we can negotiate up in Tallahassee and say, listen, if in our neighborhood we have X percentage of people that came, these families need public schools. It's a reality. Private schools in my district have lines of wait. And as you know, and this is a national problem, but unfortunately we have to go through it, there are no after-school programs that are not private in many of the neighborhoods within our city. And that's also very complex because people are leaving. They're leaving Miami.
No, I know. So the school, but how can you increase the public schooling?
The only thing that as a commissioner, Gladys, you could do is work with the county, work with the school board, and make sure that Tallahassee delivers. But that's a liaison, that's a partnership, and that's the responsibility of the commissioner. So we have no control on opening schools, but we do have control on advocating to get more.
Anything else you want to share with us before we leave? Because I know that there's a lot of moving parts in what you want to do or what you want to get things done.
Things are gonna get done. We are ready to work. We're extremely energetic. I do want to invite the people to come out and vote. This election is extremely important for the city of Miami, not only for my district. I want to remind you, we have 3 days of early voting, this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, early voting. And then, and you can check where you can early vote, but City Hall is gonna be open. And then you can vote in your precinct on Monday, the 27th, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. I am number 30 on the ballot. My name is the first one, and we're gonna be the first one. So I humbly ask you that if you are watching and you live in Coconut Grove, downtown Edgewater, and Morningside, or Brickell, please vote for me, Sabina Covo.
So where is your district? From Edgewater all the way to Coconut Grove?
No, from Morningside.
Okay, a little further south.
Morningside all the way south to Coconut Grove.
So
that's my district.
Morningside is 70s?
66, sort of.
Okay, 66 all the way going to Coconut
Down,
Grove.
all the way towards 37th Avenue, bordering Coral Gables. So it's a very big district, very diverse, like I mentioned, and it's going to be a very important election for the city as well, because we need new faces, and we need the city of Miami to make sure that it continues growing, but that it grows in the right direction for everyone. We need to be an inclusive city.
If there is one thing that I can ask you to do that I would love, when you remember the days, because we're both from Colombia, remember the ciclovia?
Yes, and that's an amazing
and
program.
That is, for those of you who don't know what the ciclovia is, they used to close some of the major streets.
Yeah, in Bogotá,
on one side, so that you could only go in bicycle or walking or everything, and it turned into a whole carnival every weekend, like every Sunday. And I think that's something that can bring a lot of good to the city of Miami. I literally try and did it and do it in Aventura, but I guess no.
we're gonna try, it's part of the plan, but and to your point, it doesn't only bring the community together, but we are working towards a very environmentally.
Correct. It educates, and it also creates a whole family experience. Because I remember it was a whole family plan going bicycle from one side of the city to the other, and there were vendors on each side, and it was like a carnival every weekend.
It integrates the community, and that's what we need. We need to educate our children to make sure that they have a city. Because this is our city, and this is our children's city.
Correct. And they are the future. So Sabina, thank you. Good
Thank
luck.
you. Thanks so much. And remember, please come out to vote on February 27th.
To everyone, thank you so much. Until next week, and above all, stay safe. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you, Gladys. Thanks.